This is KTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ashma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. Dr. Muhammad Al-Jazar, President of the Islamic Development Bank, wrapped up his visit to the Gambia on Sunday with the signing of a $1 million grant agreement between the bank and the government of the Gambia. At the 2023 Annual International Tax Conference of the West African Tax Institute and Society of Women in Taxation, Gambia's Minister of Finance and the Commissioner General of the GRA have called for more opportunities for women in the sub-region. The 6th edition of the Janjanbureh Kankurang Festival ended on Sunday in Janjanbureh, attended by the natives of the town and friends from within and outside the country. In international news, Mauritania's former head of state, Mohamed Ould Abdel Aziz, went on trial on Wednesday, accused of corruption. In sports news, the Gambia women's national football team won a bronze medal in the WAFU Zone A women's football tournament in Cape Verde. Those were main headlines, now the news in detail. Now, Dr. Muhammad Al-Jazar, President of the Islamic Development Bank, wrapped up his visit to the Gambia on Sunday with the signing of a $1 million grant agreement between the bank and the government of the Gambia for soil fertility management before meeting President Adama Barrow at the State House. Alusisi reports.
The grant agreement was signed by the bank's president, Dr. Mohamed Al-Jazir, and Sidi Keita, the Gambia's Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, following closed-door bilateral talks. Agriculture is a pivotal sector in an economy, especially for a developing country such as the Gambia. As such, this agreement support is expected to enhance agricultural productivity. Sidi Keita, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, and Dr. Demba Sabali, the Minister of Agriculture, respectively, welcomed the agreement and thanked the Islamic Development Bank for once again supporting the country's economic development through agriculture. They described the bank as a strong and trusted partner.
This grant facility is very important to the agricultural sector in order to be able to understand the right soil mapping, assist the agricultural sector to identify the right fertilizer for the right soil mix in order to boost the agricultural production, which is the main driver for our economic development. So once again, Your Excellency, thank you for being a trusted partner, standing by us at all time, and this grant facility will go a long way towards building capacity and strengthening the intervention in the agricultural sector. Thank you.
And briefly, Dr. Demba Sabali, Minister of Agriculture, how do you react to this major development?
This is going to help us identify which type of fertilizer, where to apply fertilizer, and it is going to kind of streamline and increase our productivity. So this is a long overdue project that is coming now, but it cannot come at a better time. So it is extremely relevant, and we are grateful.
The Islamic Development Bank president wrapped up his official engagement with a visit to State House, where he and his delegation were warmly received by President Barrow, who thanked the Islamic Development Bank for its continued support over the years. Addressing the State House press corps, Dr. Mohamed Al-Jazir said the bank considers the Gambia an important member and is committed to accompany the Gambia in its journey to sustainable socio-economic growth and a prosperous future for its people.
We have financed up to $1 billion of projects over the years in the Gambia, and we discussed with His Excellency the President the ambitions that he has for this country, and I assured him that the Islamic Development Bank will always be there to help.
During his short but fruitful visit, the ISDB had visited some of the bank's funded projects, including the ongoing construction of University of the Gambia campus in Faraba and the OIC projects. He expressed satisfaction with the progress of implementation.
Development is not an easy process. There are pains of development and agonies of development. So we stand shoulder to shoulder to facilitate, to help remove any obstacles or difficulties. But execution of projects is the main challenge for everyone, not just in the Gambia, but all over the world. So we always urge that the focus be on execution, because the people are waiting for the fruits of these development projects.
The Gambia joined the Islamic Development Bank in February 1980 and since then has received a substantial amount of goodwill and financial support from the bank. This visit is expected to consolidate the partnership for years ahead. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
At the 2023 Annual International Tax Conference of the West African Institutes and Society of Women in Taxation currently underway in Caraba Hotel, Gambia's Minister of Finance and the Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority have advocated for more opportunities for women in the sub-region. Ansumane Sonyasi has more.
This international convergence of women leaders from the taxation sector is organized by the Society of Women in Taxation of Nigeria in partnership with the Gambia Revenue Authority. SWIT was established in May 2010 to, among other things, encourage and assist women entering the taxation profession. With a membership that cuts across different professions, the association remains one of the most reputable women-led groups in the sub-region. At the opening ceremony of the 2023 SWIT and Bauti International Tax Conference, Gambia's Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Sidi Keita, and Yankuba Dabo, Chairman of the West Africa Tax Administration Forum and Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority, paid tribute to women in the sub-region for their contribution to the advancement of their respective countries, and went on to advocate for more opportunities for women, especially in occupying leadership positions.
In the Gambia and in general, women sponsor their children going to school at all levels. I'm one of them, and I'm sure I'm not alone. So in this case, they have always taken the livelihoods of societies in their charge, in addition to raising the family.
I have always held the belief that the business of revenue mobilization is everyone's business. This includes the taxman, the taxpayer, public institutions, civil society, and international partners across the world. We are therefore delighted to support the Society of Women in Taxation in delivering a successful conference. Civic society organizations are often the incubators of reforms and new ideas.
Dr. Ruth Abiola Adimula, National Chairperson of SWIT Nigeria, and Barrister Salifu Tiamtore, Director of Customs and Taxation at the ECOWAS Commission, spoke of the importance of this annual convergence, how women are contributing to the socio-economic advancement of the region and the challenges they face.
I am confident that information at this conference will increase your self-belief and self-confidence, cause you to find clarity regarding what is truly important personally and professionally, and make you prioritize self-reflection, self-care, and care for family without guilt.
Several socio-economic factors have hindered and continue to hinder the development of as well as empowerment of women, including those who have even managed to break through the glass ceiling. Poverty and barrier to education underpinned by cultural and patriarchal mindset adversely affect the development of women in all spheres.
Several other speakers, including Dr. Samuel Agbeloye, Vice President of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Mrs. Aissatou Njai, Society of Women in Taxation of Senegal, amongst others, all spoke on the need for inclusiveness. SWIT aims to undertake projects to enhance the image of women, publicize their achievements in taxation and other professions, as well as carry out tax awareness campaigns in various sectors of the society and economy to foster growth and inclusiveness. At the end of this 3 days annual conference, members are expected to make recommendations that will help the society's leadership in advancing their advocacy agenda. Ansumane Sonyasi for QTV News.
The 6th edition of the Janjanbureh Kankurang Festival ended on Sunday in Janjanbureh. The event was attended by the natives of the town and friends from within and outside the country. Loli M. Kamara witnessed the ceremony and she filed this report.
Thousands descended on the island during the weekend to witness yet another annual display of the exciting and unique cultural performance of the Kankurang masquerades. During the 3-day festival, tourists also got the chance to experience the area's beautiful culture and traditions. Welcoming the guests was the representative of the chief of the district, Baidu Sanyang, who says part of the traditions of the town is that the event takes place every year. Muhammad El Sedikan, the acting chairman of the local organizing committee of the Janjanbureh Kankurang Festival, in his welcome address, stated that in a bid to bring people together and empower the youths of the community to revive the unique heritage of the Kankurang masquerades, inspired them to bring back the festival some 5 years ago.
The initiative is part of a wider effort to boost inclusive and sustainable tourism, thereby creating new economic opportunities for young people in rural Gambia.
The National Assembly member for Janjanbureh constituency, Honorable Omar Jato Jammeh, commended the festival's local organizing committee for being able to revive and stage this annual cultural event. He then made this appeal on behalf of the community to the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Tourism.
Our appeal here is going to the Gambia government through the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. That is to say, for them to actually add on their support and contributions in preserving what we call the Janjanbureh Kankurang Museum.
The governor of the Central River region, Usman Ba, urged the community to continue preserving the rich culture inherited from our parents. Hassum Sise, historian and Director General of the National Center for Arts and Culture, first began his statement by reacting to sentiments expressed by the acting chairman of the festival committee concerning the event associated with the woman Kankurang at the recently held Miss Gambia beauty pageant.
It came as a surprise to all of us, and that was not the right place. It was also done, I'm sure, in good faith, but not fully understanding the ramifications. I want to convey our apologies to the chief, to all the stakeholders in the Kankurang, and of course that includes ourselves, because at the National Center for Arts and Culture, we are also custodians of the Kankurang. And let us assure that we are doing everything possible to make sure that such actions are not repeated. We want to advise people who want to promote the Kankurang to come to us to support them with research material on the Kankurang.
Mr. Sise commended the National Assembly member, who he said has been a willing and key partner in the community. He also appreciates the important role the community elders continue to play, dating back to the first edition. Mayamuna Sidibe, the Acting Secretary General, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, and the European Union's ambassador to the Gambia, Corrado Pampaloni, both attended as partners. Close to 10 cultural troops performed during the 3-day event, making it memorable for spectators. It is worth noting that the island's cultural festival was first held in the 1980s by the community of Makati, Agiwebole, the home of the Kankurang. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
That story by Lolly M. Kamara will lead us to a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local, international, as well as sports news. Do stay tuned.
Fii nga génn.
lii laa def. lekk leen bu suur. góolu xew nga ras ni.
am na lu manqué de.
lu manqué.
armanti mayonnaise su amul duma lekk.
maa ngi ñëw man maa jéegi armanti. noo ko gisee.
saf na neex na ndax moom ci armanti mayonnaise ak sauce boo ko ciy def rek dafay neex.
nii la.
armanti mayonnaise. ren la am 28 years.
waaw.
te cafka mosul ci tegoon tànkam fa la ko teg ba tey.
man maak armanti dama koo miin. yàlla dafa dogal armanti dafa doon sama xarit.
yéen jéegi réew mi nee naa leen ñaar fukki at ak juróom-ñett du fukki at ak juróom-ñett déedéet du ay fodde maa la ñu wax lii dugg leen ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique ci biir réew mi am na 500 millilitres 1000 millilitres ak 5 kilos li ci gën a tee dàq mooy def leen indil 25 grammes mooy caati mayonnaise bi am na margarine bota am na bota ice am corned beef bu yàpp ak bu ginaar am na sardine ak banana milk armanti daal dafa complété lépp ngir noppal jéeg yi seen biir waay.
Armanti product the good quality food.
Trusted. As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, Gambia's trusted network.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News with me, Asma Uba. Now, Nyanija Bolong is a tributary of the River Gambia in the Central River region that has had a positive impact for the inhabitants who live around it. Our sports reporter, Bakari Balde, looks at the importance of the Bolong and the bridge in Nyanija. Here's the report.
Nyanija Bolong is bordered by Salum and Nyanija district. It rises about 7 kilometers south of the Senegalese city of Kunkel in Kaffrine region and flows over a length of about 70 kilometers in a southwesterly direction and has a width of about 35 meters. After several years of coping with a fragile bridge made of wood, the government constructed a modern steel bridge in 1998, named the Karansane Bridge to ease movement of goods and people. Hamidou Ndiaye and Jibi Cham are natives of Chame Nyanija. They outline the importance of the Bolong to people's life.
I come here to do fishing and take the fish home and enjoy with my family. When we have had sufficient, I sell what is left and take care of other family needs. Honestly, this river has been good to us. This bridge is very good. Even by looking at the bridge, you can tell that it is strong and it is of good quality. The bridge was here for a long time because even people who are older than me met this bridge here.
Mohamed Keda from Kerewan Sitokoto explained some of the challenges they used to face prior to the construction of the bridge.
Many Nyanija residents died from the river. This is due to the poorly maintained bridge. We used to cross the river using a makeshift bridge made of palm tree trunk. And because of the poor condition, people would normally be late for work. So the government decided to construct this bridge for us. We thank God for the construction of the bridge.
Adam Kamara, a fisherman in this block, compares the abundance of fish in those days to fish scarcity in recent years.
Before we used to farm a lot of fish, which served many homes in Nyanija, using only 1 fishing net. But now, even with 10 fishing nets, we find it difficult to feed ourselves because the catch is so poor. We want Nyanija to develop.
According to many people who spoke to us, the Bolong has contributed immensely to their lives and has boosted trading activities. The bridge too has significantly eased crossing and made it less time consuming. Reporting for QTV News, I am Bakari Balde.
We apologize, that was our regional reporter, Bakari Balde. So from that story, that leads us to international news in a moment. Mauritania's former head of state, Mohamed Ould Abdel Aziz, went on a trial on Wednesday accused of amassing an illicit fortune equivalent to more than $72 million during his 11-year stay in power. Lena Iguiniba reports.
The prosecution of Mauritania's former president, Mohamed Ould Abdel Aziz, on corruption charges accused of amassing a $72 million fortune while in office, is unprecedented in Mauritania and extremely rare in Africa. Aziz, a 66-year-old former general, appeared in court on Wednesday in the capital, Nouakchott, with the dramatic image of the former head of state in a cage-like box, answering accusations along with 9 other defendants, including former prime ministers, ministers, and businessmen. They face charges that include abuse of office, influence peddling, money laundering, and illicit enrichment. Ex-President Aziz, a trader's son who came to power in a bloodless coup in 2009, stepped down in 2019 after 2 terms in which he diffused the violence from armed groups that has swept across other countries in the Sahel. He was succeeded by his former right-hand man, Mohamed Ould Ghazouani, in the first transfer of power between elected leaders in the history of a country marked by military coups and upheaval. But within a month of the handover, allegations emerged of financial wrongdoing. The prosecution of the former president has surprised many, as he and his successor were believed to be close. The former president has denied the allegations against him, but refused to answer investigators' questions about the source of his wealth. He describes himself as the victim of score settling and argues he has immunity from prosecution under the Constitution. Lawyers say the trial is likely to last weeks or even months. The nation is ranked a lowly 140 out of 180 in the 2021 Corruption Perceptions Index by the organization Transparency International. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
Let's now take a look at sports news in a moment. The Gambia women's football team won the bronze medal in the Wafu Zone A women's football tournament held in Cape Verde. Our sports reporter Mamadou Gajaga was following their third-place playoff game against Guinea-Bissau, and he now reports.
Gambia has something to celebrate as they win the bronze medal after defeating Guinea-Bissau 3-2 in the third-place match of the Wafu Zone A Women's Football Championship in Cape Verde. Winger Ola Buaro scored a brace before the Guinea-Bissau ladies pulled one back. Substitute Kadi Jajo scored to make it 3-1 in added time. Just when it appeared it was all over, Guinea-Bissau gave themselves a lifeline, scoring a second goal to reduce the deficit. They nearly made it 3-3, but thanks to the resolute defending, the Gambia preserved their lead until full time to bag the bronze medal. Senegal won the competition for the second time in a row after defeating host Cape Verde 1-0 in the final. Apart from the medal for the Gambia, their players also won individual awards. Catherine Jatta, who scored a remarkable 7 goals in the competition, was awarded Woman of the Match in their 4-1 win against Sierra Leone, where she scored all of Gambia's goals. Goalkeeper Mati Manga was also presented with a Woman of the Match award in the 1-0 victory over Guinea. Ola Buaro received a similar award for her performance against Guinea-Bissau in the third-place playoff. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Congratulations to the Gambia women's football team. Now that's all we have, but before we go, a recap of main news headlines. Dr. Mohamed Al-Jazer, president of the Islamic Development Bank, wrapped up his visit to the Gambia on Sunday with the signing of a $1 million grant agreement between the bank and the government of the Gambia. At the 2023 Annual International Tax Conference of the West African Tax Institute and Society of Women Taxation, Gambia's Minister of Finance and the Commissioner General of the GRA have called for more opportunities for women in the sub-region. The 6th edition of the Janjanbureh Kankurang Festival ended on Sunday in Janjanbureh, attended by the natives of the town and friends from within and outside the country. In international news, Mauritania's former head of state, Mohamed Ould Abdel Aziz, went on trial on Wednesday, accused of corruption. In sports news, the Gambia women's national team won the bronze medal in the Wafu Zone A women's football tournament in Cape Verde. Well, that's all we have for you on this news edition. Join us at 10 p.m. for more news. Thanks for watching.